We're in winter right now, but we're definitely heading into the summer. I mean, the biggest thing is your cooling system. Fresh, clean coolant, if you will. Mercedes does annual, meaning like lifetime coolant flushes. They run from anywhere from 100,000 miles to 150 is when they say do a coolant flush. So that's something, if you're at the 100K mark or plus and you've never ever had a coolant service, I would definitely get a coolant flush performed. The newer vehicles, a lot of the newer vehicles have electric cooling fans, so there's not much maintenance to it other than they'll set faults and let you know. But for the older models, they have the fan clutches, which has a viscous fluid in it. And as it heats up, it'll increase the speed of the engine fan. If you ever look at a mechanical engine fan and you have oil on it, that means the viscous fluid inside's leaking out, and that'll actually compromise the efficiency of cooling for the engine. So whether you just visually look at it or bring it in for a visual inspection, just to ensure your cooling system fan is operating correctly. Definitely don't want to be running around with coolant leaks themselves from hoses, components. That'll definitely cause much issues. And same with engine oil, you know. So because of the extreme temperatures here, we actually decrease a lot of the intervals. I'll use Sprinter as an example. Typically their oil changes are every 20,000 miles, but we advise to do every 10, just due to the heat, because the oil shifts its viscosity as it's hot or as it's cold, or just due to the ambient temperature. In that aspect, it wears. I suggest in our state, cut your oil service interval in half as far as what the car is asking for. So if it says 15, you know, do about 7,000. That is always the best. Just refreshing the oil constantly, that would be a great benefit. Tires, it's another big one. Inspecting your tires, and if you don't know how to inspect tires, I definitely would bring it in. We can do a tire inspection for you. Those things are really key. Coolant and oil for preserving the motor, and then just ensuring that the cooling system components are in good standing. As we start to approach summertime, we start to look at those items just as preparation. And like, I'll make a recommendation for summer preparation. Not that you need it today, because you know the temperatures are so low that it's not a big deal, but as we go into the heat of summer, that's important. Bringing it in for an inspection, just a visual inspection, and we'll look it over. We won't even charge you for a visual. We'll lift up the car, and if you stay with us, we'll bring you out. I'll bring you out, you can see your car. A lot of times people don't get to they never even saw the bottom of their vehicle before. So also, if you just come in for a regular oil service, we do a full inspection as well. Well, one of the unfortunate things is washer fluid. So people will just pour water in it, and there's no antifreeze in there. And when you go somewhere cold, even if you just drove up to Flagstaff and it froze, it'll crack the washer bottle, the tank, because it expands, the water expands. So all washer fluid should have some ATF into it, or an antifreeze. That way it doesn't blow your tank up. But that is the same exact thing for your cooling system. So that's why we use antifreeze. You would not want coolant to expand or water to expand and freeze in your engine block, because it'll crack the engine block. An all-terrain tire or a snow tire, right? So if you have an all-seasoned tire that is able to handle summer, water, and snow conditions, so keeping up on tire tread levels, inspecting your tires, that's another big one. Because if you were to encounter, say, black ice or just snow in general, you definitely want to make sure that you have enough tread level to handle those conditions, and or chains. We don't deal with that so much obviously in the valley, but I mean, you can go right up to Flagstaff and enter snow and be forced to use chains. So having good tires is a great thing too. Wiper blades, if you get into snow or to sleet or rain or whatever, you want to make sure you can have visibility on the road, so checking your wiper blades. You definitely don't want them to be brittle, hard, or cracked, because that's not going to clean the windshield for you. Your lights, make sure your lights work, make sure your fog lights work, because if you get into a condition where it's snowing or there is fog, the low beams will blind you. It'll illuminate all the moisture in the air, so you want to make sure your fog lamps work. A lot of vehicles also have a rear brake fog lamp, and it'll actually only light up one side of the brake circuit. That way people behind you can see there's a vehicle in front of them. That's really, I would say, like winter stuff. That's pretty important winter-wise. I mean, obviously heater operation for your heating. I would say a good rule of thumb is anywhere from 115 degrees to 130 degrees of temperature from heating. It also supports like defrosting the windshield. So it's not just for like comfort for the customer. It could be possibly if you're getting cold ambient temperatures and warm inside the cabin, you can fog your windshield up. So you want to make sure your heater system does work to be able to get the condensation off the windshield, which that's definitely something we could do. Those are vital, yeah. So heater operation, tire tread levels, or the types of tires you have. I think it brings comfortability when it's like, we're not gonna charge you, we can look at your car, we can assess it, let you know what's going on, instead of just being like, oh, we'll charge you for the inspection because we're gonna do all these things. But to scan a car, just to look at faults, doesn't really take much time. Now to perform a diagnosis, that's completely different. And that way, nothing unexpected. That way you don't get stranded, you don't get broke down on the road. I think that's a great value that we provide.